What's up, people of YouTube? F-Man Critic back, and well, you read the title of the video. It's Chucky time. Now I want you guys to know, big fan of Chucky. He reviewed all the movies, but I never really ranked them. You know, like what is my least favorite to my most favorite. You know, so today's the list. I got every Chucky movie here, from the original to the reboot. That's right, the reboot's going to be on the list. It's because I love Chucky. In fact, I loved it so much, I made a little box for my DVDs. I made a little DVD cozy where I fit all these 8 DVDs in. And, I mean, I'm planning to make it look yellow, like a good guy doll box. Maybe add Chucky on the front, red writing, make it yellow. You know, that kind of stuff. You know, that's how much of a fan of Chucky I am. Anyway, I want you to know, this list is to tell you guys what I think of these movies, one by one. We already know I reviewed them, I know. Oh, and I want you to know, when I tell you my least favorite, I want you to know, I don't hate it, I don't. Point is, when I get, see, we're going to start from the bottom and get to the top, and I want you to know, when I tell you the first movie I put on the bottom, I want you to know I don't hate it, I just meh on it, you know? I'm meh on it. Because, look, I'm meh on it, okay? Hey, and FYI, it's not Seed, okay? It's not Seed. Give you a hint, it's not Seed, although Seed is sort of on the bottom. All I'm saying is when I rank you the lowest, I want you to know I don't hate it. I'm just not too big on it, okay? I do consider it as a good Chucky movie, and, you know. With that out of the way, let's get to the ranking. Number 1. Well, actually, number 8. Number 8, here's a shock. Yeah, that's the one I put on the bottom. Child's Play 2, the best one in the series, actually. Now, why did I put it in the bottom? Why is it not my least favorite, even though it's the best one in the series? See, like I said in my Child's Play remake review, the movie focuses too much on making Andy suffer for stuff he didn't do. Like when Chucky vandalizes his schoolwork, teacher blames him and she locks him in the room. Yeah, like I'm sure that's all kinds of illegal. And Phil, he's just annoying, that guy. Like, he's always like, I don't want to take care of this child because he's so, because his mom was separated from him and this killer doll. Oh, I don't like Andy. Oh my God. Oh, it's kind of satisfying when Chucky kills him. The same goes for the teacher. She should have been fired for locking him in a room. Like, what happens if a fire went out? Am I right? I'll admit, the poster is pretty cool, and I like the line, "Sorry, Jack, Chucky's back." Oh, wait, it's "Look out, Jack." Sorry. "Look out, Jack, Chucky's back." I'll admit, the poster's pretty cool. Oh, it's my favorite poster in the entire franchise. But it focuses too much on Andy being suffering from being blamed for Chucky's deeds. It's kind of a train wreck to see an innocent kid being blamed. It's really hard to see that, you know. I mean, props to the actors, props to Alec Vincent, the guy who plays Andy, and I did like the character Kyle, you know, experimenting with the foster sibling relationship, and I did think the climax where it takes place in the good guy doll factory was pretty mint. And I will admit the time where Chucky completes the chance, but he's out of time. And there's another problem. He spends most of the time in the movie doing nothing. He's practically wasting his time on purpose. He's on a time limit, for Pete's sake, and he just spends most of his time framing Andy, or when he does get close to Andy, someone's either in the room with him and he's all like, crap, I gotta hide. Even though he could either A, finish the chant, B, kill that person, or B, do both. Am I right? Like, seriously, he's like, Chucky has like a million opportunities. And FYI, he was in a new body. The only thing that was the same was the skull and teeth. That was the only thing that was the same. Other than that, though, Chucky had a new body, and he could have easily traded souls with the guy who had him in that car, the guy who he suffocated. Or better yet, don't go after Andy. Better yet, get the heart of Dembala from your grave, dude. dude, all I'm saying is Chucky has a million opportunities to do this, but he wastes it. That's it, okay? And also, his death doesn't make any sense. The way how he dies is because he gets covered in molten plastic, and then his head gets inflated and it blows up like a balloon. That doesn't make any sense. I thought the only way to kill Chucky was to kill the heart, not his head. So, wait, was it because since he was now trapped in the doll body, he could die either way? He can die from getting his head blown up, even though in the first one they were definitely clarified about killing the heart, not the head. And whatever, this movie was a bit of a wreck, but I will still watch it. Anytime someone puts it on, I'll still watch it, but I'll skip those parts where Andy gets blamed, though. It's just sad to see an innocent kid get blamed, even if he is fictional, still. So, anyway, number 7, whatever, Child's Play 3. Now, I just want to say, this is the lamest Chucky poster ever, I gotta say. After having a step up on the other poster, this one's actually the lamest. See, it takes all the stuff from the first 2 movies and put it in a military school, with all these military school cliches, like the nerd, the female who loves the protagonist because he's the protagonist, the douchey drill instructor who abuses his powers, and don't get me wrong, I did like the new guy who played Andy. I did like the character. I did like the actor who played Andy. He was pretty good. Pretty good for playing a kid who's been a victim all of his life of a killer doll. Oh, but you see, and when Chucky finds a new target for his soul transfer, Tyler, it just gets really strange. Like he could have, again, since he was in a new body, he could have taken over the head who was running the toy company. The guy who had him at the beginning of the movie. The guy that was the first kill of the movie. What was his name? Whatever. Point is, he could have easily transferred his soul. I'd give Chucky a million reasons why. 1, he was rich. 2, he had a new body, and he could have easily trapped him, told him his secret, it then did the chant. And 3, again, if he transferred his soul into the guy, he would have made millions. He would have become the CEO of a successful toy company. And once he got the heart of Dembala, he could have easily pretended to be the guy I say he was retiring, and then transfer souls to the person he says who was getting promoted to be the CEO, you know? That way, not only he's got a younger body, the point is, I could come up with a better plan to transfer my soul into other people's bodies when I just been brought back from the dead. Point is, I can come up with a better plan than instead of just hunting down the same person who I tried to do in the last movie, you know? Whatever. I will admit Chucky's death was pretty cool, and it's got like the longest chant in these Chucky movies so far, you know? Oh, and I will admit the actor who played Tyler and Andy, they were pretty good. Sheldon was a jerk. But yeah, Child's Play is like a different movie. And there's this weird barber dude, you know, who's obsessed with cutting people's hair, and he's all like, "Presto, you're bald." Dude, does he even know what bald is? Whatever. And he acts like he has a fetish with cutting people's hair. Even has a wall of pictures who he's cut their hair. I get it. He explains that if you have long hair, people will grab you and do this. But yeah, but does he have to act so creepy about it? Whatevs. Point is, those 2 movies are meh for me. Alright, let's see. Number 6, Seed of Chucky. And a lot of people would put this movie dead last. Don't blame them. It's a train wreck. Okay, but I'll admit, some of the jokes were funny, some of the kills were classic, and I did like the character Glenn. I thought he was epic. I thought the actor who played Glenn was pretty good, and I did like the responsibilities of Tiffany and Chucky, of how they're trying to become parents now and stop their killing. I mean, personally, I do feel like despite the killing, I did think they would make pretty good parents in my book. I did like the character Glenn. Some of the kills were pretty cool. but it just doesn't make any sense on some occasions. Like, it says it takes place in Hollywood, but it's in a different location when they shooted it. And also, so a lot of people were up this movie's butt because when Tiffany at the end of the movie, Tiffany successfully transferred her soul into Jennifer Tilly, but she was given Glenn words of encouragement. And, like, how long did he, why was she still dying and giving Glenn words of encouragement if she successfully transferred her soul? I mean, my theory is you got, like, 2 minutes in it before your soul is 100% and transferred. Again, I'll do a theory on that. I'll do a theory on the voodoo in this movie. Other than that, though, I mean, this was the movie this was the Chucky movies I started off with. I started off with Seed. I didn't think it was that bad, but I didn't think it was that I didn't think it was that bad, but I didn't think it was that perfect. Kind of like the last 3 movies. All right, which one do we have left? And on the other occasion, we've got Cult of Chucky. And I'll admit, the Cult of Chucky really worked for me. I did like it a lot. Fun fact, it was even filmed in Canada. That's cool. Well, and I'll admit, the twist where Chucky found a new spell where he can split his souls and become him and him and him with 3 different Chuckies is pretty cool. And I did like some of the kills. They were fun and imaginatives and sometimes retelling. I did like how they brought back every character, minus Glenn, Glenda, Tyler, and Jesse and Jade, minus those characters. But I did like the movie, okay? Not too bad. I mean, Cult of Chucky. The cult's only just growing, you know? The cult's only beginning. And point is, it was all right. It was all right. It had, like, this and that. Pretty good. And I did like it that Nika returned, even if at the end of the movie she did get possessed by Chucky. Alright, let's see. And as for next is the Child's Play Reboot. Anyway, what beef do I have with this movie? What do I like? What do I hate? Anyway, the movie's really good. I did like the person who played as Chucky. I did like the characters who played as Andy and Mrs. Barkley. At least some of the characters were pretty good. Some of them worked, as I said in my last review. That kid and Andy's mom's boyfriend, those were the characters I thought were meh for me, but the kid did eventually become an ally to Andy. And I did like the doll's effect. He looked pretty cool. Again, I really thought this movie was good. Although a lot of people were ashamed Child's Play got a reboot, I can definitely say, even as a Chucky fan myself of the original, I would say this would work. It does have potential. Sure, even if it is a remake of a classic killer doll. Anyway, what's next? The original OG Child's Play. Anyway, as you might know, it's where it all began. It's really good. The doll's effects were great, especially back when it was in its time. Like, although the doll's effects may be outdated now, the doll's effects were pretty impressive back then. I did like the actors, like Alec Vincent as Andy Barkley and his mom, and the actor who pulled it off Brad Dora, aka Chucky, aka Charles Lee Ray. This movie was the one that started it all. It's really good. Doll's effects were impressive. But like in Child's Play 2, I just really hated how Andy was suffering. Like that part where he was crying, those were real tears, god damn it. Someone give that kid an Oscar for good acting. Am I right? Right? You know? It was really good. I liked it. They outdid themselves. Anyway, number 2, Curse of Chucky, the goriest in the movie. I will admit, Curse of Chucky really did work for me. After the disaster of Seed of Chucky, you can really tell Don Mancini really went back to the drawing board and tried to make something incredible, which they successfully did. I mean, the doll's effects were cool, and like in the first movie, it took like 40 minutes for Chucky to reveal himself. Seriously, I counted on both of them. It's really cool. It's where Don Mancini returned to the series with a new story, with no, Point is, he really outdid himself on this one. I really liked the twist of how Chucky knew Nika's family when he was human, and I really did like it of how that's the reason why he's in the doll form. Even if Eddie Caputo was like a getaway driver and he's like, and you know, people are all like, where was Eddie Caputo? Like, why was he? You know, I mean, my guess was they were gonna pick up Nika's sister from daycare. Like no wonder Eddie drove off. You know, like I have a theory, like, maybe the reason why Eddie Caputo was the getaway driver and, like, what was Charles getting away from? I mean, in the flashback, when Charles kidnapped Nika's mother, he was saying he was going to pick up Nika's sister from daycare, and then my guess was that was what Eddie's job was. Like, he was going to use Eddie like an Uber and just drove to daycare and pick up Nika's sister. You know, that was at least my guess. And that's probably the reason why Eddie drove away, because he didn't know cops were going to be involved. Other than that twist that doesn't get explained, I did like it. Twist was pretty, doll effects were pretty good, and Chucky is just as creepiest in this movie. Like, again, I said it once and I'll say it again. What sane brat wouldn't be terrified of that doll in that movie? Anyway, last and simply not least, and it's kind of obvious since you've been staring at that since I chose Curse, Bride of Chucky. Now, this is when the series goes from a horror movie to comedy horror. Right? This is when Chucky starts getting his stitches, and we get to meet Jennifer Tilly for the first time in the series. And the only reason I ranked it on my first is because I really liked this movie. I really did feel like it really was promising. Like, I did like it of how Jennifer Tilly was playing as Chucky's ex-girlfriend and turned doll fiance. The point is, I really did like this movie. Only thing I had some beef with it was Jesse and Jay just accusing each other every chance they got for murder. Like, it was really annoying. And I really didn't like Jade's uncle and Needle Nose. Is that his name? Whatever. I didn't like those characters. They were just so smug and so in your face. You can't go out with Jesse. In your face. It was kind of satisfying when Chucky killed them. Anyway, so yeah. Other than those characters, I did think the story was working. I mean, Chucky was planning to get a magical necklace, because so that way they can transfer their souls into human bodies. Again, if that was the case, then why did he keep transferring his soul into Andy or Tyler? Again, doesn't that make the first 3 Child Play movies kind of pointless? Like, he could have easily transferred his soul into the peddler that got him, the guy who got him after when he got rebuilt, and the toys CEO guy when he got resurrected. He could have easily transferred his soul into their bodies. He's got to Tiffany's place, explained the situation of who he was, what they were doing, all that stuff, and then try to get the heart together, and then Chucky would try and find a perfect body that Jennifer Tilly would love, that Tiffany would love, and then do that. Although the Heart of Damballa makes the first 3 movies kind of pointless, I did feel like this movie worked. Sure, the next one wasn't good, but I did like this movie. It was not bad, and I didn't think it sucked. But I didn't think all these Chucky movies sucked. Although I put Child's Play 2 on the bottom, I didn't think any of these movies suck. Although I have some beef with a few of these movies, with some of these movies, especially ones at the bottom, I can definitely tell you Child's Play is the perfect horror series to watch during this Halloween. And I know that I said last week I would start reviewing in the Chucky TV show. In about an hour, I'll start reviewing it, so stay tuned to that. Child's Play has come a long way. First, it started off as just a horror movie in the 80s, but then it became something huge. Had some bumps in the roads, had a huge time gap in a few of them, but I can definitely tell you it's worth the wait and worth to watch, even if some of them do have some beef. Oh, I love Chucky. Reboot, original, you name it. Any movie I will watch. Anyway, this is where I tell you to like, subscribe, hit notification. And remember, I'm your friend to the end. Howdy ho. Ha ha ha.